Welcome back to another episode of the Poultry Nutrition Blackbelt Podcast. I'm 𝗟𝗶𝘀𝗃𝗀𝗀, your host today, and we're continuing the conversation with Dr. Deana Jones. Thanks, Deana, for joining us again today.
While we have a good time all being together, the biggest thing is we can produce the strongest and most comprehensive research data sets. And now that we're looking at big data and AI and everything, there's so much more we can do with those data sets. We bring in the computational people and the data analysis and data engineer folks, and they can accomplish so much more in the fact that we have monitored these flocks and we have all these set data points from different aspects, whether it's product quality, environmental safety, where I'm doing in the food safety part, meshing that in with my frequent collaborator and cohort and partner in crime, Darren Karcher, who is doing the physiological measurements of the flock and the day-to-day production variables. And then you pull in Ken Anderson, who's also been doing, a part where he's looking at, some aspect of the rearing or the management aspect. And we start putting all these pieces together. And then it starts becoming an incredibly robust data set that we can hand over to some of these. Once we've gleaned our little pieces, but then we can get a much more holistic view out of it. So it's really exciting times for that. And of course, I'm talking about the egg stuff because that's me. I'm an egg.
You're an egg lady. I know.
I'm eggs. I'm the egg knitting lady. But, when we also look at it from the poultry processing aspect, we have, unfortunately, at this point in time, we have very few people who are doing egg work, and we have very few people who are doing poultry processing and meat quality work. And so when we put all that together, that allows for these partnerships to be made and us to look at these aspects, because the stakeholders need to know all this information.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at me, like I'm the champion cheerleader for the research project.
No, I agree, though. I came into it when I was just a young assistant professor and, super green, and I didn't know what to expect.
Still a young professor. I'm just going to let you know that, Kelly. You're still young.
Thanks. Thank you. Well, I was very green at the time, and I'm very green still, I feel like, but learning every day, right? Lifelong learners. But and it was really interesting. To go in the room of so many different people, and a lot of them I've heard about and read their papers and all of this and seen them at meetings, but maybe not had the opportunity or felt like, hey, to approach, some of them. And, it was so cool to see how welcoming everyone was and has been. And then now I see more people, the younger generations coming in and, getting their feet wet and doing these collaborative research projects. And so it's just been a really neat way that's outside of doing, a scientific meeting at times, and then being able to focus on certain topics that are really hot topics for the industry, and then trying to figure out from so many different angles how to solve those. And so that's a neat thing to me.
Another thing that comes out of this national collaboration is it makes it so much better because, at least here with ARS, we have funding for predominance of our research efforts, but we still engage in granting and, self-fund research. But the universities, at times y'all live and die by the research dollars. And a lot of the research granting agencies now are looking for these larger whole-scale projects. So we were kind of ready-made when that came along. We were kind of like, hey, we've been thinking this way for years. So it allows us to bring in, more people. It allows us to expose more, and it allows the group to work together and have much stronger proposals to put in for, granting dollars, there's not as many of them around. And when they now come out, they're looking to do fewer larger scale projects as opposed to numerous smaller scale projects. And with the regional research projects being set the way they are, they're kind of ready made for people to be able to plug and play. And now we have meetings and people come in and say, hey, I know so-and-so is going to have this out this year. I was thinking this. Does anybody want to join in? Like, hey, I know, Kelly, you have this skill set. Would you like to do this? And that makes it a whole lot easier, especially as you're talking about for some of these younger faculty members, younger scientists to kind of get their feet wet and start getting involved in these collaborative projects and how to go about them.
Absolutely. So we're coming into kind of running out of time a little bit. If you can, will you tell me what's one thing that comes to mind from working, I guess, all the research that you've done or collaborative projects, or, well, all your work has been collaborative, but what's one thing that's kind of come to mind that you think would be the most significant impact you've been able to make through your research?
And one for me that I'm really proud about from my research is that I know that it has been able to translate to a wide swath of stakeholders. Not every project is going to hit a lot, but it's not like I've always done things just for a regulatory group to use, or I've always done things that allow the industry to move forward, or I've always done something that's been a new methodology that means academia is going to use it or something. I'm really proud of the fact that I spend a lot of time and I put a lot of effort into trying to make sure that the research that I produced in the last 23 years can be used by a wide band of audience.
Yeah.
And that it is something that people can take with them and do. And then I also spend a lot of time making sure that people know that they can call the lady who sits in the back of the room and knitting and ask her a question and ask for clarification. I mean, that's a big thing for me. I am small and Southern. And so, as such, it's meant to be. I want people to feel like that they can approach me and say, I knit in public. People should realize they can approach me. I knit in public. But that there's that approachability and that people can send me an email or people can call or text. Nowadays, people text you or send you an email, we can jump on a call and answer questions. It takes extra time, but I'm proud of the fact that has been established and people feel like that they can converse with me and that I'm not. Sometimes people get to. I'm going to say this with you because here we are talking. People get this erroneous assumption that academics are like these beyond super smart people that they should never speak to. That's crazy. We just happen to go to school for a long time and decide that we're going to be nerds for life. You know what I mean? And that's okay, but that doesn't mean we're not approachable and you can't just chat with us, So that's something that was really important to me in the beginning is when I do research and put time and effort into things that it's going to be utilized by as many people and as many different audiences as possible.
Yeah, that's cool. So I guess one more thing, we didn't really go into some of the normal stuff that I do. We just hit the ground running, but I do want to ask you, what poultry professional would you take with you in a zombie apocalypse and why?
And I'm going to say, this is going to be a weird choice. I'm going to say 𝗵𝗽𝗀𝗀𝘀. And if he ever hears this, he's going to laugh about it. The reason why, number one, he's my birthday buddy. So we can decide whatever day we want to is our communal birthday. You know what I mean? So no matter what, it's guaranteed we can have our birthday together as many times as we want to while we're on the zombie apocalypse. And we have a little yin and yang skill set. So we'll do that. If I have to take a poultry professional, I'm taking a processing person with me. And
I like it. That's smart. Yeah. I like it. That's funny.
With science-led solutions that are sustainable, proven, and effective, BASF helps you tackle the challenges of poultry nutrition. We offer high-quality feed ingredients that enable a more sustainable production and help you achieve your animal performance targets. We call it the science of sustainable feed that succeeds.
And so then one other thing, since we are on the Poultry Nutrition Blackbelt Podcast, Jackie Chan or Chuck Norris?
Jackie Chan.
Good choice. Okay. Well, thank you, Deana Jones. It's been such a pleasure to visit with you today, and thank you everyone for tuning in. And that's another episode of the Poultry Nutrition Blackbelt Podcast. Thanks again.
Hey everyone, we're always searching for the latest and greatest research to share each week. And if you have a poultry nutrition related research trial and would like to come on the show and talk about it and share it with us, feel free to email the research link, the paper where we can find it, or the abstract to hello@𝗺𝗷ecie𝗁𝗀𝗀𝗁.com. That's hello@𝗺𝗺𝗁𝗁𝗁.com. And I look forward to hearing from you.